Hello, a very good afternoon everyone and welcome to the Stork Caerhas here in North Wales. We are just over the border this lunchtime for live action from the Sky Bet Championship as newly promoted Wrexham host West Bromwich Albion in their first home game of the season. 3 in a row, but could it be 4? Wrexham have catapulted themselves from the National League to the Championship in successive seasons, and some are wondering whether the Premier League could well be next. They had a harsh taste of reality last weekend as they led until the 90th minute against Southampton before then losing late on, but now a chance to put things right in their first home game here since 1982 in the second tier, as the Championship's oldest manager Phil Parkinson looks to continue to put his club back on the English footballing map. Well, West Bromwich Albion's new young and inexperienced head coach Ryan Mason is still finding his feet at the front of the senior footballing dugout, but he was encouraged by a narrow 1-0 win against Blackburn Rovers on the opening day of the season last week. Something to build on, but he'll have to do without the services of star defender Torbjørn Hegem, who's joined Bologna in the last couple of days. However, the signings of Christian Bielik and Tony Collier in the last 48 hours have boosted morale around the Hawthorns. And the Packies fans wondering whether this will be the year to get them back to the Premier League, having been relegated in 2021. So Wrexham against West Bromwich Albion here at the Stork Caerhas in Wales. Kick-off coming up in just over 5 minutes' time. And both teams played change sides in the Carabao Cup in midweek. Wrexham dramatically came back against Hull City before winning on penalties to set up a second-round tie with Preston North End, while West Brom threw away a lead late on before they also played in a shootout that came out on the losing side against Midlands rivals Derby County. Plenty of aesthetic changes here at the racecourse over the summer and continuing into the new season as well. Both Wrexham and West Brom could still make plenty of changes between now and the end of the transfer window as well in terms of personnel, with just over 2 weeks left. Both have made signings this week. Nathan Broadhead coming in for a club record fee for Wrexham, said to be in the region of £7 million. He's on the bench. Toby Collier has joined on loan from Manchester United for West Brom. And they've also picked up Christian Bielik from Birmingham City. Both of those named among the Albion substitutes. The teams are in the tunnel. Great experience that Wrexham have there with the likes of Connor Cody. Standing behind experienced goalkeeper Danny Ward, and James McLean just at the front of the queue. Can't quite see him behind one of the assistant referees, but a former West Brom player in the starting 11 today for Wrexham and captaining the side as well. Wrexham back in the second tier and back playing here at home, where they've had so many memorable games in recent years. And no surprise to see is the sellout crowd here at the racecourse today. Years ago, the day it has been a long journey back overall, but quite a quick journey back in recent years. They'll be hoping to celebrate their first points of the Championship season here this afternoon. Ryan Mason, there's 3 games into his coaching career. He'll be saying that he's won 1 and drawn 1 so far after they only lost on penalties against Derby County. Looking to make it 2 out of 2 in the league here. Parkinson has plenty of miles on the clock as a coach. Let's take you to his team that he's picked today. Wrexham are boosted by Keeper Moore being available after fears he'd sustained a long-term ankle injury last week. He's patched up and ready to play, and they make one change from the side that lost at Southampton as former West Brom wide man James McLean replaces Livy Kachache. New record signing, Nathan Broadhead is on the bench after moving from Ipswich and could make his debut later. George Dobson starts and makes his 50th appearance for the club. As for West Bromwich Albion, disappointment for their fans this week as Torbjörn Heggen moved to Bologna. So a gap at the back today that needed filling, and it means a first championship start for George Campbell, who joined from Montreal this summer. Darnell Furlong returns from suspension after he sat out the Carabao Cup tie on Tuesday. Ona Hergebert scored his first Albion goal in that game, but searches for his first league goal for the club here this afternoon. New signings Toby Collier as well as Christian Bielik are both on the bench and could make their Albion debuts later on. James McLean, 3 years at West Brom earlier on, never far away from the headlines, good and bad. He'll be hoping to make a positive impact here today. 36 now. He's one of many Wrexham players into their 30s. They'll be hoping the youth mixed in can help dig in this season. It's been a resurgence for Karlan Grant at West Brom. Went out on loan to Cardiff a couple of years ago. Looked as though his Albion career was possibly over, but has managed to really pull things back for the Baggies. He has, though, scored just once in his last 23 appearances. So, manager's ready. Phil Parkinson has to deal with so much here at Wrexham, of course, with the spotlight so often on the club. But he has led Wrexham to promotion in each of the last 3 years. 4 would be unprecedented. Nothing impossible, seemingly, at this club right now, where the sky is the limit. Plenty of historic moments for this rising club over the last 3 years. And another today as Wrexham host their first second-tier home game for over 43 years. The first ever league game comes against West Brom, who were winners on the opening weekend, with Wrexham late losers. There's an early free kick here to the home side. It's to be taken by Danny Ward, who at the age of 32 has only played 137 times in his career. He did spend his formative years here as a youth. He's back here where it happened for him in his early days. Ball by Max Clever. Pitch in immaculate condition here. It has been relayed over the summer. They've given themselves a first-class playing surface. They have upgraded the stadium as a whole considerably because they want to bring international football back here. Certain UEFA requirements for that kind of thing to happen. McLean. West Brom will be patient here and wait for their moment to strike. Cody with a long sweeping ball forward. Out of play it goes in front of the Kop, or what was the Kop here at the racecourse. That new stand is going to be built with a capacity of around 7,500. West Brom have been out of the Premier League now since relegation in 2021. Had such a long spell there that put the club on such solid ground, but haven't been able to get the formula right in recent years. They had 4 head coaches last season in various spells. Looking for a bit more solidity here. Looking for an opening goal here. Just over the head of Hegerberg. Styles. Moet. Styles, the Hungary international. To Malumbi. Furlong, sent off in the league last week, but served a suspension in the cup in a game he might not have played in anyway. McLean trying to fight off the challenge there of Tom Fellows, and the free kick given. Part of a West Brom side that was relegated from the Premier League in 2018, a mere £1.5 million signing from Wigan in 2015. He eventually left for Stoke 3 years later. Wrexham fans and Keeper Moore thought he was being pulled there. Taken down by Cody, who's getting a pretty rough reception from those West Brom fans over there, a former Wolves player. Flick on by Moore, looking for fellow new signing Josh Windass, as Wrexham have revamped and updated their squad this summer. Hegerberg as well. Fellows back in the Albion side now, having lost his way towards the end of last season. Former boss Tony Mowbray didn't really fancy him at times. Brian Mason very much does. The Championship's oldest head coach, Phil Parkinson, now 57. One of a dying breed of experienced coaches, not only at this level or even in the EFL, but in football as a whole, as the average age continues to tumble for those standing in the technical area. It is a young man's game these days. Taken down by Dobson. Return here to Cody. Cleworth. Ryan Barnett is the wing-back. He was in the League One Team of the Year last season as Wrexham came up in second place. They were actually 19 points behind West Brom's Midlands rivals Birmingham. But promotion was the aim, and promotion is what they got. Styles. Well past owner Hegerberg, who was signed from Brann in the summer, the Norwegian side. After 18 goals he scored across the last 2 calendar years. They play a summer season in that part of the world. Grant. Hegerberg. Space opening up ahead of him. Fellows, I was about to say, has the youth to catch up with that, but isn't able to put his foot on the ball. Cody. Cleworth. Barnett. Tries to knock it into Keeper Moore. Direct for Windass. Nice vision. Barnett. Cleworth. Barnett. Into Moore. Couldn't quite trap it. More, another 30 plus. He's 33 now, the front man. He moved to Wrexham from Sheffield United. Has moved around a little bit in recent years. He's generally scored goals wherever he's been. Here's Campbell. Made his USA debut earlier this year in a friendly against Venezuela back in January. His championship full debut today from the start. He played the final 2 minutes of the win against Blackburn as they look to shore things up. Furlong. Measured his cross, but measures it incorrectly. You can see Carl Grant there just gesturing to say, look, let's just calm things down a bit, no need to rush. Joey Jones, 3 times a Wrexham player, 1 time caretaker manager. Sadly passed away over the summer, remembered here in midweek. Mickey Thomas as well, watching here today, a man who played for both of today's teams, often associated with Wrexham, where he started his career but went on to play for West Brom from 85 to 86, where they were in the First Division. Actually left West Brom in the end for Kansas and Wichita Wings, who played in the Indoor Soccer League in the USA. Late challenge here on Barnett has given Wrexham a free kick. No major chances just yet. Cody. Brunt. Into Moore. And keeper Moore wins the free kick. Matt Phillips going through the back of him. He also came in over the last couple of months, joining for a modest $3 million from Liverpool. Campbell. Of course, West Brom were left a little bit light, very close to the season as well, because Carl Bartley, long-time Albion player, announced his retirement just a day or so before the start of the championship season. Who knows how much they'd have relied on him this campaign, but there was suddenly a body down quite late on. So O'Brien giving them a bit of ball-playing ability. He was the record signing earlier this summer, but Broadhead's acquisition has gazumped that. Here's O'Brien to McLean. O'Brien. McLean. Corner. The first of the game for either side. No major chances or even openings just yet. But Wrexham have plenty of height in their side, notably keeper Moore. Cody up there as well. And they move it back out. Hit through by Windass. Barnett. Oh, that's a great ball in. And the goalkeeper, Griffiths, didn't look at all convincing. And it's former Aggie McLean who puts it wide, though flag up for offside anyway, it probably wouldn't have counted. There's so much space here for Barnett to measure his cross in, but as you can see, McLean had just strayed beyond that defensive line. Styles, very much a left-back these days, having played out the early parts of his career in the middle of midfield. Grant. West Brom looking to get some touches on the ball here. Furlong. Campbell. Grant. West Brom weren't entirely convincing last week, but they got the job done against Blackburn. Wrexham have had just over 50% possession so far. West Brom upping their own numbers now. Mowat. Styles. Eased away by Cody. Was that a frustrating couple of years of it at Leicester? Sold the dream by Enzo Maresca when he first moved there, but was then barely ever played. Relegated with the side last year under Ruud van Nistelrooy. They're back in a position now that he knows so well and had so much success in his time at Wolves, including promotion from this division as champions. Campbell back here to Griffiths. West Brom fans just wondering whether they might be able to get a more experienced and reliable goalkeeper in the last stage of the transfer window. I wasn't overly convinced by Wildsmith's performance in the week either. Got beaten from a very tight angle in the 6th minute of added time. In towards Hegerberg. Cody intercepts. Clever. Got to be careful here, Wrexham. It's back by Dobson and away by Ward. Windass knocked it on. Some suspicion that he was caught, but no free kick. Moore. This is better. O'Brien. The ball's on to the right if they can get it through to Barnett. They'll go via Max Clower. Gives it straight back to Grant. Very sunny day here in Wrexham. The heat wave that we have had here in England in the last week and a half or so has just lessened ever so slightly, but still a very warm day nonetheless. Grant. Hegerberg inside, Styles up there as well. It's Styles who knocks it on and over by Fellows. Best chance of the game that either side has had. Well, Grant tormenting Clever down that left side. Fellows on his weaker side as it came through to him. Just skipped up as well. Maybe that is what did for him. West Brom hung on to him back in the winter when there was interest from Everton. £15 million supposedly on the table. to move not a million miles away from where we are today. Cody. McLean. Cody. A very thick-skinned individual. That booing won't affect him too much. I can guarantee that. Moore. Windass. Barnett. In towards Moore. McLean was coming in as well. Slightly awkward there for Griffiths, and it's behind for another corner. The first meeting between these two sides in any competition since 1971 is slowly hotting up here. Barnett with a swing in. And they went behind off Furlong. Corner from Matty James. Firmly out by Phillips. Barnett again. Furlong. Well, there was a temporary stand behind that goal last season. There's a somewhat open feel to the racecourse here at the moment. The first hosted Wales games back in 1877. They've actually also lengthened the pitch here this summer, which means they'll be able to host rugby matches in the future. They're looking to turn this into a multi-purpose stadium. So much of the Welsh football scene very much in the south of the country, with the likes of Cardiff and Newport and Swansea as well. Fellows, an old school direct winger who plays on his natural side. It's a great ball in, and it's the opening goal! West Bromwich Albion in front, and it was so simple for them. Boing, boing in that away end. And Isaac Price, who netted the winner for them early against Blackburn last week, has got the opener again. Makes those late runs into the box so well, and he guided it beautifully into the corner. Just cut his foot around it with such precision, but the marking was so slack, nowhere near good enough from Wrexham. And the Baggies are into a lead here in North Wales. Well, he joined from Standard Liège back in January and has been such a positive influence for West Brom since his arrival. That's just his fourth goal at senior level, but has already scored 9 times for his country Northern Ireland, including a hat-trick against Bulgaria earlier this year. Clewer. Barnett. There might be a rude awakening at the start of this season for Wrexham if they had to lose a second successive game. One by Dobson, didn't have the height. Windass. McLean. In towards Moore. Campbell there first. Driven with pace by Max Cleworth as he looked for a rare goal. Well, I was talking about Fellows playing on his natural side, and with that you get goals like this. No pondering, coming back on the inside. He gets forward and puts those balls across. It's an expert finish by Price for his second goal this season. Dobson. Too high there for Barnett, who has managed to keep it in place somehow. McLean. Out somewhat by Styles. Barnett. Cleworth joining in. Dobson not far away. Barnett. Some pressing here as they search for a quick response. O'Brien. Here's James. Cleworth. That's a teasing ball in. More with a little push out by Furlong. Wrexham coming on strong. Windass. Barnett again. Trying to beat Styles, but it went out off Barnett. It's a Baggy's throw. There was maybe a push by Moore at the end, but he was having his shirt pulled there by Furlong. West Brom looking to start a season with back-to-back wins for the first time since 2017. The fans never get too excited. That was certainly the mood on the local radio phone-ins this week as well. They know still plenty of work to be done. They were 9th last season. They were actually top after the first 7 matches, but ended up 4 points off the top 6 by the end of the campaign. Not helped, of course, by Carlos Corberán's departure on Christmas Eve when they were 7th. Tony Mowbray returned, but only lasted 17 games. And ended the campaign with a less than pretty run of 2 wins in 10. Cleworth. Barnett. Plenty of pace and energy in this game. Ryan Mason getting stuck into his team on the edge of his technical area. Furlong. Ooh, and have to be careful there, Phillips. Eventually gets the job done. Fellows. It's great play by the former under-21 international. And he wins a free kick here, and question marks as to whether Lewis Brunt should be cautioned for that challenge. He's saying it's his first one, but it was a clear pullback and the yellow card rightly administered by today's referee, John Busby. Can't have any complaints. West Brom looking for a second here. Hegerberg Going forward but going down. Moore. Furlong let it bounce, but always had the situation under control. Campbell, I beg your pardon. But there's a problem here, and a hamstring problem like that for Josh Windass, which is going to be an issue. And already looking at the expression on his face, I think he knows that his game might well be up. So it might well be an early introduction for Nathan Broadhead here if he can't continue. And he was sprinting forward here, trying to get after that, and he just felt it go. And the hand up straight away. Keeper Moore also looking thoroughly disappointed with the situation. I think most were expecting Moore to be out for a period of time, but it might be his strike partner who's missing now. So, Broadhead, earlier than anticipated, or expected, but I'm sure he's excited to be here. He's ready to make his Wrexham debut. Interesting to see how Broadhead slots in here. So often in his time at Portman Road under Kieran McKenna, he was playing as a forward, but off the left-hand side. He'll be playing a little more centrally here. It's one of 3 early kickoffs in the Championship today. Derby taking on Midlands neighbours Coventry at Pride Park, and down at Fratton Park is Pompey against Norwich. And a whole programme of games to come later this afternoon. A couple of games on Sunday as well, as Ipswich take on Southampton. A big clash between 2 relegated sides last season, and Hull facing Oxford as well in a 3 o'clock start tomorrow. Confirmation of that change for you. With Broadhead on for Windass, £7 million the reported fee. To Darnell Furlong. Hegerberg doing his bit. West Brom have had a terrible time away from home in recent months. They're winless in 16 away games. They won 4 of their first 8 last season under Corberan, but their last success away from the Hawthorns was a 2-1 win at Hull back on the 10th of November. They were the draw specialists though on their travels last year. 11 of their 23 away games ended level. Free kick West Brom after the foul on Ona Hegerberg. Got his West Brom account up and running against Derby in midweek. It's the bread and butter of the Championship though, where Ryan Mason will be looking to get him performing. The owners are here today. Ryan Reynolds watching from a booth, you might say. Rob Mack down beneath him. Furlong, Fellows, Price. Fellows has pace down that side and he's beaten McLean to it. Now the play it goes. I think McLean relishing that battle as well. West Brom looking to get themselves a cushion in this game. They'll have to try and do that from a corner. Come on you baggies is the cry from over the far side where around 2,000 West Brom fans are. There haven't been too many of them who've been here before. Hegerberg in the box, Campbell up there as well, Grant another attacker. Fellows with the corner, free header it was, but tipping over the top from Karlan Grant. Ward looks like he's solidified his place again as the number one this season after another player who spent circumstances. Here come West Brom. Price. Hegerberg in the box as well as Grant. Away by James. It's a free kick here in the end to Wrexham, whose fans feel they've been getting a bit of rough treatment from the referee in the last few minutes. Little under 10 minutes to go until half-time. Wrexham are going to have to attack the second half a little bit differently because they're struggling to create chances in this current shape. West Brom will be quite happy, you'd imagine. Cody. Cleworth. Broadhead. He's been able to secure his 33 shirt once again. Cody onto the chest of Moore. No one close enough to it. The deal actually for Broadhead to come here from Ipswich had been agreed quite some time ago, but Phil Parkinson saying yesterday they were happy for Ipswich to get another player into his position before they let him go. So he's been playing a little bit of a waiting game, really. Hasn't trained much this week due to the travel that he's been making backwards and forwards from East Anglia to move his life over. Cleworth. Barnett. Cleworth. Dobson. O'Brien making himself available. Barnett. Into Moore. He goes down theatrically there. Clash with Nat Phillips once again. Parkinson's been on such a journey with Wrexham in the last few years, but everyone's cycle has a time as a coach. By no means saying that he should be sacked or anything like that, but a lot of the Wrexham players who've been on this journey with them have changed and have moved on throughout this cycle. It is only natural that it will happen to whoever's in charge at some point. Parkinson's got to make sure in the next few games that talk doesn't start to become that of him potentially being the next to be renovated. He was with them back in the National League. He's got 2 more promotions after that since. Which, even with the finance available here at Wrexham, is no mean feat. You've still got to go and put it into place and action. Here's Grant. Put up by Malumbi. Furlong. Well, that ball probably would have travelled a furlong had there not been a stand in the way behind the goal. It was moving at pace. Grant has plenty of hunger and desire still for West Brom. And you've got bodies forward there. Wrexham just not really clicking defensively at the moment. And Furlong firing it through a crowd, looking for his first goal since he netted at Ellen Road against Leeds in March. Wrexham being told to creep back up the touchline with this throw. Barnett. James. Some Broadhead to run in behind. Dobson down, back from O'Brien, Dobson, and still it's James McLean here for Wrexham to equalise, saved by Griffiths. Well, a rare moment there of excitement for these Wrexham fans at the moment, who've had to watch their side defend plenty in recent minutes. Wasn't quite going on target from McLean as he came inside on his weaker side. But still forced the goalkeeper to palm it behind for a corner. Which is taken and headed just over the top there. Keeper Moore dominant in the air once again. Managed to totally lose his marker there. I think it was Hegerber who was meant to be with him. Down the line, here's Moore. Looking to bend one in himself, hits McLean, and it's in, it's 1-1, it's Lewis O'Brien, who scores his first goal for Wrexham. That's much more like it from the Red Dragons. Their first home goal here in the second tier for over 43 years. It's been a while in the making. West Brom not covering themselves in glory defensively there. I think Ryan Reynolds saying, I told you it was coming. Well, Moore surprisingly finding himself in that right wing position. no one could clear it. And it was an untidy finish, I think you have to say, from Lewis O'Brien. But he got the job done nonetheless. Skipping off a couple of players' bodies first, and then skipping up off the surface and in. We're level. West Brom looking to re-establish their lead, but it is Wrexham instead who have their tails up. Here they go again. It was O'Brien again who managed to somewhat take it down. Final 60 seconds here. Only had the one pause so far for the injury to Windass, so probably not too much longer to run. Hegerbert, Styles. Styles again. Furlong. Wrexham might feel on the balance of play that good value for a leveller before half-time. West Brom have undoubtedly played the better football, but haven't been able to make that dominance count in front of goal. Their goal so far, their only shot on target in the game. There's a block off the ball there on O'Brien by Mowat. Referee happy for play to continue as we move into 3 minutes of additional time. Fellows. Mowat. Styles. Now Grant. So no one else in a blue and white striped shirt. Another disappointing end for West Brom. Something for Phil Parkinson to work with at half-time as he makes a couple of points known to fourth official Dean Whitestone in newly marked out technical areas this season. They had to switch the dugouts over because of all the renovations that needed to take place here at the stadium. They needed that extra space. Cody. Another rasping long ball from him onto the head of Moore. And you do play a player like Keith Moore, you do need to get bodies around him. Back into Campbell. Just under a minute to go. There's a big clash there. It's left Dobson in a bit of a heat. Broadhead. It's got a little bit scrappy in the closing stages. Price helps it on, but stretching there as he tried to find Fellows. And that is half-time. A very watchable opening 45 minutes. West Ham will be annoyed, though, that they are level at half-time. They did take the lead in this one after an expertly well-taken goal by Isaac Price after the 20-minute mark, after Fellows pulled it back to him. But an equaliser 3 minutes before the break, scored by Lewis O'Brien after West Brom failed to clear, means that in this rare meeting between these two sides, it is all square at half-time. At Stord Kairas at the break, it's Wrexham 1, West Bromwich Albion 1.
First score highlights are at Kairas 2, the half-time score in Stord Kairas, Wrexham 1. The winner of today's 50-50 half-time draw is Jason R. Jason, you won £150 and 71 pence. Claim your prize, check your emails.
Welcome back to the Stôr Caerhas here in Wales. 1-1 at half-time between Wrexham and West Bromwich Albion in one of the early kick-offs in the Championship today. Isaac Price there had given West Brom the lead just short of the halfway mark in the first half, but Wrexham would have the final say before half-time. Phil Parkinson will be hoping his side can complete the comeback here now. Man who's had a lot of success throughout his career. He'll be hoping for continued success here with Wrexham. First off in this game. Three shots on target in the first half, two of which ended up in the net. Hopefully both teams a little bit more profitable inside both penalty areas in the second half here. They've never met in a league game before, these two. First met in the FA Cup third round back in 1930. West Brom had legendary boss Fred Everest in charge. Jack Baines was in charge here of Wrexham, who won 1-0 thanks to a goal from Albert Mays in front of a crowd here of 16,000. O'Brien, broadhead! It would have been the dream debut. West Brom were hoping to watch that one go, but Moore had other ideas. There was a lovely ball back there to O'Brien, whose expert flick found Broadhead, who was just the wrong side of the post. Moore showing he's got quite a few facets to his game. Broadhead has always been a good finisher, just not this time. Broadhead scored plenty of goals for Ipswich in their promotion season from the Championship. 13 times he struck for Kieran McKenna's side. This place, though, wasn't always assured in the Premier League as they moved up a level. Campbell into Mowat. Here's Price, the goal scorer. Fellows will have a run here at McLean. Kind of beat McLean, but then decided to go down instead of continue. No changes for either side at the break. That's Furlong. Fellows, they're trying to get him to run and McLean again, but Furlong's gone on. West Brom corner. Blocked behind there by O'Brien. Clattered into Lewis Brunt there as well. It's a tight group of players in there. And a deep corner, which is headed comfortably wide by Phillips. West Brom had runners all over the place, and maybe Phillips should have done slightly better there, or at least someone get onto the second ball. Dad Jimmy, a former player with the likes of Bolton, Rangers and Middlesbrough as well. Off the head there of Campbell, there is Phillips again. Fellows, lost that handball. Styles, Mowat, Molumby. West Brom happy to take their time here. The last time the two sides did meet was in 1971 in the then Watney Cup, short-lived. West Brom winning by 2-1 here. The tournament was held before the start of the season and was contested by teams that had scored the most goals in the 4 EFL divisions the previous season, who'd not been either promoted or admitted to one of the European competitions. And then a bit of a quirky twist as well. More goals were encouraged in the tournament by offsides only counting past the penalty area line. That's the wisdom they had back then. Here come West Brom with Styles. He checks and misses. Well, motors forward down that left-hand side all day long, Callum Styles. It was way off the mark there. Tony Bomber Brown on commentary duty today for local radio here at Wrexham. Legendary Albion striker in his day. And actually scored twice in that Watney Cup game. Netted a penalty, then scored from open play 6 minutes later. Brunt used to play for one of Albion's big rivals, Aston Villa, at youth level. Cody. Moore. Grant's trying to get there, beaten to it by Cleworth. Back with Cody. Direct ball over the top, looking for keeper Moore. Sure, West Brom would take a draw in this game, but it's certainly there for them to go and win if they want to. They've shown they've got the quality. And they've got the tenacity as well. His fellows. Hegerberg to his right. Owner Hegerberg. Cody, that wall in the way. Fellows has been such a great direct runner for West Brom in this game, and he's at the heart of that attack again. Hegerberg from a narrow angle, might have been trying to play it across goal there for Grant. It's another high corner towards Phillips, who gets it on target this time, but a simple pick up there for Ward. Ward very much getting back involved in the club scene again. Only 6 of 22 appearances he's made since March 2023 have been for club teams. He's often relied on international duty with Wales to get meaningful matches. McLean. Wrexham will have West Brom pinned back here. They are a little short on some of their numbers at the moment. Wrexham players out injured like Ollie Rathbone, Jay Rodriguez and George Thomason as well. He's out with a thigh problem right now. Strangely for a side promoted from League One, no one's really talking about them in terms of being a relegation candidate. I'll be hoping it remains that way. Furlong into midfield. The referee getting in the way there of Ona Hegerberg, and actually has to stop play there because he played his small part in affecting the direction of the ball. Ryan Mason not impressed. Only 34. The Albion head coach. And the Southampton boss Will Still is younger than him in the Championship. And it's his first Premier League game at the age of just 29 and became the youngest ever coach in the top flight to do so. Cody. Clever. McLean. Just love to get those balls in early. Moore. Can Barnett supply the cross? He might to Moore. Wrexham fans starting to feel that there might be another goal in this for them soon. McLean's throw on this new pitch, which has been installed at a cost of nearly £2 million. New undersoil heating and drainage there as well. It's going to be one of the stadiums for the UEFA Under-19 Championship in June next year. James, Brunt. Broadhead trying to give numerous players the slip. He's having his shirt pulled in the process. Brunt. Atmosphere going up a notch or two. Grant. Price. He's versatile in this West Brom side, playing quite advanced here today, but can sit in a deeper area as well. Hegerberg. Cody saying it's his ball. The assistant agrees. Only one shot on target since the break. There's that header from Nat Phillips. His fellows. Tom Fellows has forced another corner. West Brom's third of the half. Phillips and Campbell both getting in amongst it again. Lifted high towards Phillips once more. Another header on target, but another catch for Ward. Rinse and repeat. Oh, he took a nick there that time off Moore, which made it a bit easier for the Wales international goalkeeper. O'Brien. McLean. And by Matt James. O'Brien. Wrexham do have such a fabulous home record here. He's only lost 6 of 91 league games he's had in charge of the Red Dragons here at the racecourse. Only Leyton Orient and Stevenage have won here this calendar year. Tranmere, Bradford, MK Dons and Yeovil, the only others to have won here since October 20. Wins in 91 matches overall. A win ratio of 76.9%. This really is a fortress for them. Fellows gives it away. Moore challenged quickly there by Phillips. And then McLean going in a bit too firmly. Price. McLean's not down to O'Brien. Here's Moore. Nicely worked. Barnett. Styles getting firmly stuck into him. Fellows. Almost looks like a computer game player at times, the way he runs and curves his runs forward. Such a delight to watch. Ball really sticks to his foot. Price. Price again. Here's Grant now. Carlin Grant. Still in there for West Brom. Or so it was. Back out to Mowat. The Baggies having to start all over again. Fellows. Nice for Furlong. West Brom's corner dominance continues. Phillips on the way up once again. Baggies looking to Boyne back into a lead. Again Phillips. Nodded down, it's still not away. Goal kick. Well, both teams were claiming for it there, but the referee made up his mind fairly quickly. Furlong was there at the far post and then hit it against his own man, Fellows. Steve Parkin there, the assistant manager to Phil Parkinson. Keeper Moore, Broadhead, hasn't had too many moments to shine since coming on for the injured Windass. Broadhead. Broadhead again. Moore. Just bounced off him there. Head the ball straight back to West Brom. Grant couldn't carry the ball with it. O'Brien. Brunt. Here's McLean. Scoops it in on the outside of his boot. Brunt again. Cody down. Wrexham starting to get their game together here. Not too high for Broadhead, but here's McLean. It's a corner. Cody on the way. Moore already there, and the two in conversation about what is about to happen. Matty James with the set play. Oh, and Cody sealing into a position there where he got a free header on goal. It was really well worked by Wrexham. Cody had a fantastic chance for them down at Southampton last week. And couldn't make it count as he missed from point-blank range and never really attacked that header. Almost let it hit him instead. Hegerberg going down. It's back with Ward. Almost halfway through this second half. Said earlier that West Brom are going to have a far better away record in 2025-26 than they did last season if they want to get back to the Premier League. Well, I have to say, even at this stage in the season, this is the kind of game where they really need to step up as a group. Not playing badly, but I feel like there's another couple of levels they could switch into here. Darnell Furlong. Gustav Paul used to play a very different role as a target man really up front. And he's now the under-21 head coach at Queen's Park Rangers. Grant. McLean's not down. Trying to clear. There was James. Wrexham are going to make another alteration here. And it will be the introduction of Ryan Longman. Winter side from Hull City. And so the change comes with plenty of time still to make an impact. As they take off Brian Barnett. give themselves a fresh injection down that right side. Moore. Broadhead. Trying to give West Brom the slip there, in particular now Phillips, but safe pair of hands there from Josh Griffiths. It could be moving into a promising area. They've got 6 forward. Furlong, 4 in the box. Claims of handball by Wrexham there, but West Brom continue. Mowat. Phillips. To be returned to him by Malumbi. Styles. Left there by Price. Fellows. Which way will he go? It was a good block. Here's Furlong. Styles. Grant. Furlong again. Moore. Can they spread it here? They can, as Dobson plays it wide. Longman just on. They'll be looking for more. Broadhead was getting in there as well. He was looking the more likely in the end. To those travelling Albion fans, it's a Wrexham throw, which hasn't been closed down. Dobson in, flick header from Broadhead. It just won't come for them. Not the second goal anyway. Dobson with time and space there to put in any kind of cross he wanted. Jed Wallace ready here for Albion, as well as Mikey Johnston, who could well have been playing in a very different kind of arena this season. Had his proposed move to Flamengo gone through, he could have been playing in the Maracanã. It was all set. He was off to the airport, set to fly to Brazil, but a fan revolt in Rio meant that the move was aborted in the end by the Brazilian club. Rio, Wrexham, pretty similar. So West Brom freshen their midfield lineup with the introduction of Jed Wallace and Mikey Johnston. And there's Carlin Grant and Tom Fellows, the two to make way. West Brom could be in. Here they are! Well, how's that for a first involvement from Jed Wallace? He's only been on the field 10 seconds and he's fired West Brom back in front. Well, that is the definition of a super sub. Lovely takedown there by Hegerberg, and actually Wallace darting from his right wing position out to the left and caught Ward out at that near post. Great movement from Albion. Although there wasn't really too much to aim at there for Wallace, he made the most of it. And on his swinger, found the smallest of gaps. Ryan Mason will have enjoyed that very much, I'm sure, but question marks over the goalkeeping. James. Now Wrexham going to slip to another narrow defeat as they did on the opening weekend. It's been a tricky start for them here in the second tier. They've got Sheffield Wednesday, the visitors, next Saturday, and then go to Millwall before the month's out. You might have thought there'd be a smile across the face there of Ryan Mason, but not the case, and certainly not one on Phil Parkinson's face either there. It's a free kick here to Wrexham, which O'Brien is sizing up. And the header is wide by Max Cleworth, who was up there. Had his best ever season in front of goal last year, 7 he got in all competitions. Just easing Phillips out of the way there. And the West Brom fans in celebratory mood in the Wrexham Lager stand. It's a long way to go yet. Best part of 20 minutes, including added time. Ousmane Diakite will be introduced here for West Brom as well at the next break in play. Brunt misses out Cody, straight to Cleworth. That Wallace's first goal, by the way, since January when he netted against his former side Portsmouth. And now Wrexham are going to have to do something they haven't done so far in this second half, and that's have a shot on target. High onto the head of Moore. Away, not intentionally, given his expression, by George Campbell. So the West Brom change, we'll see Alex Mower come off here. So Diakite comes in, signing from Austrian side Hartberg last year. Came on at a very similar time in West Brom's win against Blackburn last week, and looks like he's going to perform the same role. He got 90 minutes under his belt in the League Cup in midweek. West Brom not changing too much from that side today. Goes off the head of Moore and behind. Matty James comes off here. Sam Smith has been called for as they throw another attacker into the mix here, Wrexham. Looks like it might be more of a 3-4-3 for them now. They've sacrificed having that extra man in midfield, and Phil Parkinson has thrown a little bit of caution to the wind. Here's Wallace. West Brom looking to wrap things up, which they're unable to do yet. Rona Hegerberg doing his best as he has put in a reasonably good performance today. I'll be hoping he can stay fit because Daryl DK is on the treatment table again at the moment. Oh, that's great play. Can they finish it here, West Brom? Hegerberg really miscues Styles. He's got Johnston out there with him. That's a great ball, and West Brom have a third. It's Isaac Price again. They've well and truly burst Wrexham's bubble. And the Baggies looking to make it 2 out of 2 at the start of this championship season. What an asset Price is for them. Great run it was there by Malumbi from midfield. It looked like maybe the opportunity had gone for Albion. But Styles out there with Johnston. 3 with plenty of movement in there. And Price just getting in between 2. No awareness of where he was at all. Cody looking around. Cleworth had gone out to close the cross. Brunt didn't go and attack it either. And Price not only good with his feet, but such a tall player as well. He's effective with his head. So a goal-filled game here. O'Brien. Brunt. Well, Wrexham kept more clean sheets than any other team last season, but I can speak from experience of this as well. As a fan supporting a team in this division, there is such a gap between League One and the Championship. It might be an obvious thing to say, but when you've had a season of success in the third tier, you sometimes forget what the goal is. I assure you it's big, and Wrexham are finding it out right now. It's going to be a rare home defeat for Phil Parkinson in charge of Wrexham. Six defeats in 91 here in the league. He's going to turn to 7 in 92. West Brom seemingly not done. Trying to add further gloss to the scoreline here. Hegerberg. Nice play to bring in Wallace. Furlong. Malumbi. Wallace. Johnston. Last 6 minutes. Robson helped manage to win the ball back there. Not the day that he was hoping for. Cody. Onto Moore, who's offside. West Brom will be bouncing for their next game at home to John Mousinho's Portsmouth next Saturday. They've then got Stoke, who have been a little bit of a bogey side for them over the years. And then come back after the international break with Derby at home once again, this time in the Championship, having already faced them in the Carabao. Well, all the Albion chants come. Taylor, revered in the Black Country, certainly by West Brom fans, less so their arch rivals Wolves. Brunt, Cody. Wrexham surely know the game's up at this stage. High in by McLean. Just hasn't clicked for them in the final third today. I wonder if they're going to have to try and be a little bit less reliant on playing those high balls into Moore. Now going to give a debut here to Toby Collier. As two-goal hero Isaac Price is saluted by those travelling baggies. There's the first. So nicely taken. Such a pleasing goal to see. And then a headed second. His third goal this season already. Successful day, it has to be seen, for Toby Collier. His first loan away from Old Trafford. Manchester United loanee. Hasn't played for anyone since he played for the England under-20s against Switzerland back in March. So it might take a little bit of time to get up to speed. No space for him in Ruben Amorim's squad at Manchester United this season. Another Wrexham attack breaks down. Wallace. Phillips. West Brom making it look easy now. Moore. After Darnell Furlong. Collier. Two Wrexham fans starting to trickle away on what they were hoping was going to be a day of celebration for. That's 30 seconds before added time. Broadhead only finds the chest of Diakite. Towering player that he is in midfield. Moore. Couldn't find Broadhead. Much to ponder for Phil Parkinson this week ahead of Sheffield. Bit of turmoil right now with the ongoing ownership issues there and players not being paid. moving time now. A fair amount of it, 4 minutes have been given. Wrexham win the free kick. Josh Windass also injured today. It hasn't been an afternoon to remember. I wonder how long he's going to be out for. Looked like a hamstring strain at the very least for him. Ball in, and it was nodded on by Moore initially. And then Cleworth was the man who got the touch over the bar. There has been a Wrexham side today that has had plenty of chances. They just haven't been good enough in front of goal. He will undoubtedly be the man of the match in this one. Looks like he's got a fine season ahead of him as well. 2 goals from 3 shots. Halfway through added time. Goes out off McLean as West Brom gain 20 yards. Furlong. Goal kick to Wrexham, but time has beaten them in this one. They were unbeaten in their final 10 games last season, were the Red Dragons, but it has been a tricky start to their championship campaign. Away by Griffiths. Not his finest kick. Furlong and Phillips, all a bit scrappy at the end here for West Brom. But they have done everything they needed to do. The only disappointment for Mason will be the way probably they conceded that goal. It was so scrappy, the equaliser. Wide by Broadhead, last chance here to add some respectability to the scoreline. In towards Broadhead, and they have got one back. Surely too little too late at this stage. But it is substitute Sam Smith who's crashed that one home. Really slack defending from West Brom. That's going to happen contender this season. Furlong didn't want it enough at all. A flying, diving header by Smith makes it 3-2. We are well over time, in added time. Smith clashing there with Malumbi. No sooner has he scored than he's yellow carded. Malumbi holding on to him there to stop him from closing the ball down. I think just making the point to the referee, saying that he was trying to escape the attention. surely all over now. And West Brom do get the win, and no one can have any complaints about that. The price was right for Isaac, who got 2 goals for the Baggies. Jed Wallace also scoring for them. As he netted, having only just come on the field, his first touch of the game, but Price putting in a star performance here. O'Brien had equalised just before half-time. Smith pulled one back right at the end, but the damage had been done as West Brom make it 2 wins out of 2. Wrexham endure successive defeats on their return to the Championship. Full time here at the Storkaidas. It is finished. Wrexham 2, West Bromwich Albion 3.